Hey,
Today
today
we
we
are
are
going
going
to
to
talk
talk about
about
algebraic
so it's going to be a bunch of
expressions.
vocab.
There will
Remember
be some new
that
vocab
in order
terms
to study your
here.
vocab, you
Some of
can
them
use
you may
the
have heard of
Quizlet
already.
that I made
The first
on
one
the
is a
website that I
variable.
made, and it's just an interactive flashcard. And
Throughout the
a
year, you'll get
variable
really
is a
used to it
symbol
with
that
Mrs.
represents
White
an
and Mr.
unknown
Winters.
quantity.
So our first
Whenever
word
you
is
see
properties.
a variable, it's going
Properties
to be
are
a
statements that
letter.
are true for
So
any
please write that
numbers.
down so you remember. A
So
variable is
the
when there's a
following
letter
words
in the problem.
are properties.
It is also what changes
So that's what we're going to write on our box.
in the problem the following vocab words. So, for example, if you look at what we did last week in our last section of the notes,
real property we're going to talk about is the commutative property of addition.
Sarah would
some of you may know what commute
and get
$8 per hour.
It means to move,
and she got $5 per week for allowance.
And we made a table for her.
What it
for
is
6, 7,
saying the
8,
order
and
in
9
which numbers
hours.
are added
does not
Since
change
the number
the
of
sum.
hours
So you can literally
make a
variable for that
the numbers
rather
around,
than
or
having to make
move
the numbers
a table
around.
for all of them, or an
And
expression
you'll get the
for
same
every
answer
single one.
if you are adding.
So our
So
problem,
if we looked at his
last
example with
week,
numbers that
was
say
$5
$2
for
for
allowance,
plus
switch it around so it says
$8 per hour, so 8 times
So on the left,
the
I
number
got
of
2 plus
hours,
3, which is 5.
since the number of hours is
On
what
the right, I have 3 plus 2,
changed, and
5.
it could be
And it's true that 5
anything.
equals
You
5,
could babysit
so we're
for
good.
10,
So,
8, 6,
that's just saying
12,
that
it doesn't
when you
matter.
add numbers, switch them around,
It's going to be our variable, so
difference.
let's use H.
Next is the
for
commutative
hours.
property of multiplication.
So
this
this
is
is how
the
we
exact
would
same
use the
thing that we
variable
just did,
in the previous
except using
example.
multiplication. The
This
formal
is an
definition is the
example
order in which
of an
numbers are
algebraic
multiplied does not
expression.
change the product.
So let's use 2 times 5 and put it equal to 5 times 2.
Because it contains a variable, a
So
number,
on the left I got 2
and
times
at
5
least
is
10.
one operation.
Bring down my equal sign.
Remember that when I say operation,
right,
I'm
5
talking about
times 2,
multiplication,
10,
division,
10
addition,
equals 10,
and
so
subtraction. Just those 4 basic things we do in math.
The next word is the
So an algebraic
associative
expression will
property of
be
addition.
anytime we
It is
have
very
those things, a
similar
variable,
to the
number,
commutative property,
and
but
an
this
operation.
time
It's about how numbers are
So
grouped.
let's think of some
so
other
when
examples
you have
of
the
an
associative
algebraic
property, you're going to see
expression.
parentheses.
It could do
The definition is the order
3,
in which
so
numbers
some
are
number
grouped when
plus
added does not change the sum. So let's say we have
a
1 over
plus
4,
2 in parentheses,
which is a divided by
then
4,
plus 3 on the outside.
You could
equals,
do, now I'm going to keep the numbers
3
in the same order.
times
I'm just going to
x.
move the parentheses around the 2.
Whenever you have the number and the variable right by
see
each
how
other
on the
like
left I
this,
got
it
1,
just means
2,
multiplication,
3.
which
On
we're
the right
about
I
to
have
talk
1,
about.
2, 3.
And you can also
Just the
do,
parentheses would say 9 minus
so on the
n.
left, do parentheses
So
first.
anytime
1
you
plus
have
2
the
is
variable,
3,
the number,
bring
and
down
something
my
that's
plus
going
3.
on, it can even be
Bring down
more
an equal sign.
complicated.
On the right, do parentheses
Like
first.
for example,
2 plus
this
3
one, the
is
5 plus 8
and
times
bring down
h,
my
that has
1 and
2
my plus sign.
operations. It has addition and it
On
has
the left, we
multiplication.
got 3 plus 3, which is 6.
So down here it says
Bring
in
down
math,
equal sign.
the multiplication
1 plus
sign
5
is
6.
often
So
omitted.
6 equals 6.
So here we don't
out.
see anything that's
So
actually
when
a
we're
multiplication
adding,
sign. You can just move the parentheses
but they
around,
all
group them
mean
however you want.
multiplication.
Sometimes this is helpful.
So this means
when trying to do math in your
n.
head.
The reason
The
that
next term is associative property of multiplication.
the little
So
x as your
the exact
multiplication
same
because
thing,
it can look
except
like a
with
variable.
multiplication.
That's why we get
So
rid of it.
let's use 1, 2,
This
3
means
again.
7
so 1
times
2
m
in
times
parentheses.
n times 3 on the outside.
You could write it all in parentheses if you
equals
wanted to
1
separate it a little bit.
times, now moving the
This
parentheses
means
around
x
2 and the 3
times y.
On the left,
So
I have
here,
1 times
there's
2,
actually
which
4
is 2.
different ways that you could
Bring
write
down my
multiplication
times
problem.
3.
You can get rid of everything,
Bring down the equal sign.
you can put a little tiny x,
and
you
then
can use parentheses,
or
over
you can
here.
use a dot.
2 times 3 is
In
6.
this class,
Bring
throughout
down
the year,
my 1
you
and my
will see
multiplication
me
sign. 2
just
times
have
3
nothing,
is
so the
6.
number right by the variable,
and
and
you will
6 is
see
6.
parentheses.
So you got the
I
same
will
number,
almost
so we're good
never use a
Now it's
x
very important. You
multiplication or a
cannot
dot,
do this if
that
there's
looks like
any
the x looks
subtraction
like a variable
or and the dot
any
looks
division.
like a decimal.
So
These
I don't
properties
use them.
only work with addition and
The
multiplication.
next vocab
so don't
term
ever try
is
it
the
if
number
there's
in
subtraction
front
or
of the variable
division.
is called a coefficient. Okay. Now moving down. The next terms are
Kind of
coefficient
ridiculous
is a
and
pretty
it's common
strange
sense.
sounding word.
The
But it's
first
super
one
easy.
that I see up
You
here is the
won't
additive
have to
identity.
actually solve
That says when
problems
0
saying
is added
some-
to any number,
like the sum is the number.
evaluate the
So
coefficient.
a way to remember that is you see the word
That
additive,
doesn't quite make
and you're
sense.
going to be adding 0.
So when we talk about
So let's just
coefficients, they're just
pick
going to want
4,
you
'cause
to
that's my favorite
identify it.
So 4 plus 0. This first question, what is the coefficient of 5n? That's what we wanted. We want to get the same number that we started with. Here's my variable. The number in front of it. Next is the multiplication I did. It's going to be 5. So you would think it would be very similar. So the next question was the coefficient of 7mn, but we want to get the same result we started with. It's just a number. So here we're going to multiply by 1. And you don't have to do anything else. So let's try 4 again. Got 4. The next example say to evaluate. So we are going to solve. And again, our result was the algebraic number we started with. So that worked. So here, number 1, evaluate t minus 4 is pretty equals obvious. So multiplication property is 0. So then I can get rid of this t and replace it with the 6. 0. So I have 6 That's what it is. 4. When any number is multiplied by 0, the product is 0. So all you do is take out the variable and put the number in place of it. Times 0. We got number 2, evaluate 5x plus 3y if x is 7 and y is 9. A counterexample is an example that shows 7, so I'm going to take out my conjecture is not true. So this time I put parentheses around it so that it doesn't look like 57. Say I don't have an x, I don't have a dot. Parentheses work as multiplication. So 5 times 7 plus, then I have 3 even times numbers. Y is 9, so take out the y, put a 9. And then it just becomes a problem with order of operations. So we'll do our multiplication first. 5 times 7 is 35. So that's telling me if I pick 2 even numbers, I'm going to add those together, I should get an odd answer. So let's try to think of something that proves this wrong. So number 3, I'm going to evaluate 5 plus a squared if a is 5. 2. So got 5 plus... Well, this tells me I should get an odd number, but 4 is even. 5 there. So this is a counterexample. It's something that shows that what I said in the first place is not true. So we have 5 plus 5 squared means the next word is simplify. Simplify means to perform all possible operations. We will do a lot with this throughout the year. The most important thing you need to know about simplifying. Now I'm going to write another example off to the side. So this is example 4. It's very important. You cannot add 2y. X equals negative 4. Or subtract y equals 6. A variable. So 3x means 3 times x. So I'm going to take out my x and replace it with a negative 4. And put it over 2 times y was 6, so take out the y and put a 6. A non-variable is just a number. It doesn't have a variable. We have not yet covered if the variables are positive and negative numbers. You cannot put them together. You should remember it from last year. We will do some review with that. So I'm going to put 2 asterisks. Next unit. The 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. If the signs are different, it's negative. Over 2 times 6 is 12. Multiply. Then we have negative 12 over 12, which means negative 12 divided by 12, which is going to be negative 1. So those are 2 very important rules that you will need to remember throughout this year. The back. So over here, I'm going to write some examples. And here's an additional problem in this box if you want. It says Leah has already read so it's 20 pages of a book. How you want to do it? She plans to read 5 pages each day from now on. Write an expression that represents the total number of pages she will have read. We have in D plus X in parentheses and plus 3. So my rule says I cannot add or subtract a variable with a non-variable. I'm going to start with 20. So here 4 is a non-variable because there's no letter. We need to add something to it. X is a variable and 5 pages each day. So 4 plus the number of days I cannot do that. And they told me because they are different. They are not like terms. So 5 pages each day. I will say that a lot. 5 times if they are not like terms, that's just basically what this rule is saying. One has a variable, says, will Leah have read more than 60 pages in 7 days? So I cannot put 4 next together. Since they say 7 days, that means my D 4 for days is going to be equal to 7. That's just 4 plus 3. We know how to do that. So I'm going to take 4 out plus 3 is 7, my D, and I'm going to bring down my plus X. Make sure you take out the parentheses, don't put 7. Make sure you keep the X together and don't just write 5 and 7 because 7 doesn't have a variable with it. So this is actually going to be my answer. 5 times 7 is 35. So and 20 plus 35 we're not actually solving. So she's going to read 55 pages. Once we get to equations. So, but no, we're just simplifying. We're doing anything we can. So make sure that you actually answer the question that they ask. Let's have don't just stop at 55. X plus our last problem says the formula for rewriting 3x. A Fahrenheit temperature as a Celsius temperature is here 5. We have x plus f 12 minus 32 divided by 9. Put those together because 12 equals the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. And x is a variable. They are not like Celsius terms. Equivalent of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So can I do x plus 3x? So this 77 degrees Fahrenheit tells me what my f is going to do that because they both have an 77. So, and that's all I needed to solve this problem. There's a little invisible 1 there. So 5x times 3x is going to give me a total of 77. Then bring down my plus 32. 4x plus 12 cannot put them together because they are not like terms. 12 doesn't have a variable. 4 does. My order of operations says parentheses first. So 77 minus 32 is going to give me 45. And divide by 9. Example 3. And 5 times 45 is going to give me 225 r over 9. So I said you can multiply a variable with a non-variable. My label is going to be degrees 5 doesn't Celsius have a variable, since they wanted 3 to know does, with a temperature but since it's multiplication, I can put them together. So our start 5 times variables is 15. Just stick my r take out whatever variable that so when it's multiplication and division, and you just using your do the numbers like you normally would, and you'll be good to go. And put your variable with it. Number 4, we have 12n divided by 3. So again, you can multiply a variable with a non-variable. So even though they are different terms, 3 doesn't have a variable, 12 does, you can put your numbers together. So 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. Then stick my n by it, 4n. Now let's look at one with different variables in it. So this will be our last example. Let's do 12x plus 3y plus 4y plus 5. Okay, so here we have 12x, but I don't have any other x's, which means I don't have any like terms that go with this 12x, which means 12x is going to stay by itself. Next, let's look at 3y. So I'm looking for other y's. Oh, found one. 3y plus 4y. So if I have 3 y's, I'm going to add 4 y's to it. I get a total of 7 y's, so plus 7y. And then over here I got this lonely plus 5. There's nothing else that's just a plain number. Everything has a variable, so this plus 5 is going to stay how it is. I can't put anything with my x because there's no other x's. Can't put anything else with my y, no other y's. Can't put anything with my 5 because everything has a variable. So this 12x plus 7y plus 5 will be my final answer. If you have any questions about this, you can email me and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks.